Hey everyone, Mark de Guzman here. Um, it's day two of the Pokemon Go Fest, and I apologize if my hair is a little bit messy. Before I get ahead of myself and go to church and enjoy the rest of the Pokemon Go Fest, I want to take this time to honor the memory of legendary game show host Bob Barker, who I found out about his passing just yesterday. So, Bob Barker was. Now, for those of you who don't know, Bob Barker is the epitome and like an icon on The Price is Right. And for 35 years, he had hosted the game show. And in 2007, he actually retired and was succeeded by Drew Carey, who still hosts The Price is Right to today. Now, I have to say, Bob Barker was energetic. He loved meeting his fans, just as they mentioned on the news. Just a lot of good things. He was even an animals activist, where at the end of every episode, he would always say, control the pet populations, have your pets spayed or neutered." I actually remembered meeting Bob Barker in person back in 1999. So at that time, and I'll actually give you a little bit backstory about what happened with me that time. So back in 1999, it was just the day before I was about to leave from Southern California, and then I find out from my family that they were going to go to a live taping to see The Price is Right. So I called my mom and I asked her if it's okay if I could stay another week so I could also go to the taping of The Price is Right. They said yes. Send the important documents that I need in order to, be part of that show. And, we go to, I think it was maybe next 2 days, 2 or 3 days, that I end up going to the live taping. And, I was so eager to hopefully be called up on stage, but instead it was my auntie from Southern California who ends up after she bid closest to a day sailor. So she had the chance to actually win a card on The Price is Right, and she was playing the money game. So she was able to guess the first two numbers right, but when it came to the last two numbers, she got shot out by El Cheapo, which, for those of you who don't know what the money game is, it's you have to guess the first two numbers and the last two numbers. Well, the last two numbers of the price of the car, and I actually ended up remembering it. It ended up being 10, and so yeah, she got shot out by El Cheapo. So then it came to the showcase showdown, and she actually scored the highest to $1. And my auntie, by the time we got to the showcase, after the two contestants made their bids, namely my auntie and one other person, I actually had to run to the bathroom. that time. And so by the time I come back, they were back on the air, and my auntie was like far off from the actual retail price of her showcase. Then it was her opponent's turn, and her opponent, unfortunately, she actually overbidded by $12, and so that's how my auntie won the showcase. So as soon as as soon as I found out that she as soon as I found out that my auntie's opponent overbid, it's like that was the time where the family like goes up to like hug and congratulate the family member who won the showcase. Well, as soon as I was running up onto stage to give my auntie a hug, um, it's so funny because I accidentally nicked Bob Barker with my elbow as I was reaching out to give my auntie a hug, and it was just one of the funniest moments that I actually remember during that time. Um, Bob Barker, like for certain uh, for certain pricing games, he had like certain things that he would say. One of his quotes that he would say that, like, for example, for with one of the games with the range game, he would say that like he would say, make sure you hit it exactly at the right time because we can't start it up for another 37 hours. Those were his words when it came to playing the range game, but like before like the actual like rangefinder started moving upward. And at times where there was where the where it came down to the very last moment, like he would always say when someone was like just like when some people would sometimes lose on The Price is Right, he would always say, "Oh, misery, more is the pity." I mean, he just had an energy of how he said it, and it was just like, oh, he just felt like has this like sympathy and feeling for contestants who lose their pricing game on The Price is Right. Um, you know, he had like other roles of being, for example, starring with Adam Sandler on Happy Gilmore, and you know, even one time there were some times that where he actually made guest appearances with Drew Carey even after he retired. Um, he was shy of his couple months shy of his 100th birthday, and you know it's not going to be the same without him. So to Bob Barker, thank you for everything of being such a big inspiration in my life. You know, we love you. Drew Carey loves you. Um, all of us who have met you in person, we love you so much. You brought a lot of joy into our eyes, and you're forever going to be missed. And to Drew Carey and to everyone else who are currently on The Price is Right, thank you also for what you're doing. Keep up the great work, and I know that Bob Barker would be extremely proud of each and every one of you. So hopefully one day with a group of friends I'll be able to make it on The Price is Right again. I mean, after all, it's just something that I'm just still so passionate about, and just also want to leave a mark for my family, especially for my mom, who is about to turn 83 this October. Okay, take care. God bless.